So when inmate saves an officer's life and the institution decides to transfer him, why did they do that? That's what I want to talk about real quick. Tier Talk. My name is Anthony Gangi. I'm the host of the show. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. If you haven't, please comment, guys. Engage. Get involved. It's a channel for us. Okay, and don't forget, I have other venues. Got an app on iOS and Samsung. Download the app, as well as follow us on iHeart, YouTube, TuneIn, Spreaker.com. List is growing and growing, which is great. It's great. I may have a new idea for Tier Talk, another type of venue. I'm working on it, but we'll see. But again, before I get into that, what I just mentioned about the inmate saving the officer's life and the institution deciding to transfer them, and why would they transfer that inmate, I want to mention what happened in Polk County. Polk County, 6 inmates save an officer's life. The officer wasn't feeling well. Okay, go get your jacket. The officer wasn't feeling well. The inmates saw that the officer wasn't feeling well. When the officer fell out, the 6 inmates did what they could to save the officer's life. And that's a great story. It's a great story, especially in contrast to what happened a few weeks ago when the 2 inmates killed the 2 officers. And in the same state, Georgia, right? It's a great story at face value. But what would have happened if it went the other way? What would have happened if when the officer fell out, the inmates got a hold of the officer's weapon? Maybe they took the officer out, or maybe they brought that weapon into the community. Again, these are things that we have to think about. I was always taught that if there's a gun, there has to be a gun to protect the gun. You always have to have one weapon to protect the other weapon. So again, this officer falls out, all his equipment is on him, including his weapon. But thank God the inmates, what they did that day was they saved the officer. But again, it could have went the other way. And then as they interviewed the officer, thank God the officer's okay, I got concerned with a statement that he pretty much said when they're out on a trip, he doesn't really see them as inmates. And what I always teach in manipulation is the one thing you got to remember is who you're dealing with. That is key. Remember who you are dealing with. Washington State tried to get rid of the label of offender. That label reminds us of our prescribed role. We see you as an offender. We remind ourselves of what our role is, what we're supposed to do. And that brings me to my little manipulation thing of the day, if you will. Come on, Mia. You can come over here. Okay, so this is the second part. I do groups of manipulation videos, and I try to base them on real-life events. So the scenario here is, hold on one second. Mia, say hi. Hey. Okay, so first off, we have the power of label, right? We just talked about that, right? The power of label that makes you see an individual as that label. That's why I don't call inmates trustees. Because I'm not supposed to trust an inmate. And now you want me to call him a trustee? I don't think so. That label carries a lot of weight, okay? That's one aspect of this scenario, but I got another aspect here, which is the inmate saves the officer's life, and then the institution does what? Transfer the inmate out of the facility. Why would they do that? Well, if the inmate saves the officer's life, the officer may feel obligated towards that inmate. Once that officer feels obligated towards that inmate, that officer is vulnerable and the inmate has power. So to protect the officer, the institution or the administration may decide not to punish the inmate, of course, but also what? Transfer the inmate out. And that's also to protect the inmate too. You know, I don't know if it's going to look good by other inmates that this inmate saved this officer's life. So maybe it would be in a better bet to protect the inmate and transfer that inmate out. But you do want to encourage that type of behavior. Don't get me wrong. And in Georgia, they took 1/4 off of the inmate's sentences that helped the officer, and that's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But having said that, you don't really want that officer to be around those inmates who saved his life, because that officer may feel obligated towards those inmates. And eventually you never know if they're going to want a favor in return or use that to manipulate him. Hey, I know you want to tell us no, but remember that day we saved your life? So we protect our officers and we remove that sense of obligation by removing the inmate. So as always, guys, love you guys. Stay safe. Show us Tier Talks. Please subscribe to the channel. Comment, engage. Guys, we're going to make a network for us. Hey, Mia, can you say goodbye to my lovely, brave officers out there? No, say goodbye. She's good. Mia, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Be a police officer.
Police officer or a?
And cop.
Well, cop, but what is it that I do?
Corrections, I'll say.
There it is. Gotta get her to say it once in a while. All right, guys. Love you guys. Stay safe. As always, the show is Tear Talk. My name is Anthony Gangi.